Hey guys, welcome back to Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader. We're on the Void ship at the moment and we're about to complete this quest, so we'll have to talk to Vigdis, the helmsman, Ravor, and then Abelard and Adira. So since we're here, let's start with Abelard.
Lord Captain.
Abelard greets you with customary courtesy, but makes sure to scan you from head to toe with his scrutinizing gaze. Let's see. Do the words Epitaph, Incident N87204, or Tech Blight mean anything to you? They are connected to Theodora somehow.
No, definitely not. No, I don't recall anything like that.
For a moment, Abelard's eyes go blank, as if he has turned his attention inward. Then he blinks twice and says in a tone of surprise, Okay. Fair enough.
Lord Captain.
Let's talk to Ravor. Tall man before you appears to be woven from tendons and muscle. Blue veins snake under his white, almost dove-colored skin, and his scalp and chin are covered in cropped white hair. His neck and shoulders are wrapped in wires that hint at the presence of neural connectors under his uniform. The officer's face seems to be twisted in a perpetual grimace of annoyance and anger, but he greets you with a respectful nod. Does the word Epitaph mean anything to you, or perhaps Incident N87204 or Tech Blight? This has something to do with Theodora's travels. Can't say they do, Lord Captain. Doesn't ring any bells. Then again, remembering all the places Lady Theodora went is... Epitaph, Incident. We've always had heaps of incidents happening on board, but through my implants I feel at one with this ship, and I sense that, and I don't know when it happened exactly, it started behaving differently. Became more responsive, livelier. Yes, livelier is the exact word. And when you said Epitaph and Incident, it just dawned on me. Pardon my bungled report, Lord Captain, but that's all I've got to say on that front. Okay. Let's see what the quest says. The voice... Okay. Doesn't really reveal anything. When you approach, Vigdis pulls away from fine-tuning another Vox and bows ahead. Okay. Tollyman, not long ago, I took part in a celebration in Jay's honor. Would your lordship care to learn the circumstances of your return to the ship? I can assure you that the landing deck was damaged minimally. Mistress Haydari escorted you to your quarters, rather boldly touching the person of the rogue trader, and in response to the crew's attempts to help you, you endeavored to demonstrate your proficiency in several Efreet swear words that, according to you, Mistress Haydari had taught you earlier. Regarding the incidents that took place on Footfall Liege, Takara has already let us know that the persons affected have no claims against you, and thank your lordship for the honor of witnessing how the rogue trader and his charming paramour amuse themselves. Okay, that's a bit odd. But yeah, he shouldn't have, well, I don't think he should have gone and got drunk like that, but oh well, it was a party. Can you recall anything unusual about Theodora's travels? Do the words Epitaph, Incident N87204, Tech Blight ring a bell? All of Lady Theodora's journeys could be considered unusual. Her odysseys were always audacious. As for the words you mentioned, none of them sounds familiar to me as far as I can tell. Except maybe the Incident. I recall coming across this word in transmissions several times. I think it was repeated by the former engineer, the one who perished during Conrad's uprising. He was describing it as the Incident, something quite remarkable. Apparently at some point in the past, the entire ship was hit by a massive system failure. All systems stopped responding for 1/5 of a second. Most of the crew, including myself as I was lightly on board at that time, did not notice anything strange. But tech priests are sensitive to such things. That is all I can tell you, Lord Captain. I wish I could help more. Okay. So, talk to the officers is done. Does that mean we have to talk to the tech grease as well? No, still just Adira. Okay. Let's save it here first. When Adira sees you, her lips curve into a smile and she nods at something over your shoulder. Okay. Epitaph Incident ends 87204 Tech Blight. Do these words mean anything to you, or perhaps your abilities can tell you something?
They mean nothing to me. They're just words. A whisper. So quiet, I barely caught it. Like a feather landing on a pile of down. Something about damned ambitions, antiquity, terrible antiquity. And chance. Chance through it all. Oh, now I have a headache. And the stupid bloody whisper wasn't much help.
Okay.
Of course. Always at your service. Whenever you need me.
Talk to Nomos about Theodora's caches. The caches on Dargonus and Kiava Gamma contain fragmentary information about Theodora's clandestine activities. Reminding Nomos about this data that once allowed its consciousness to awaken may yield some results. Okay. The servitor built into the huge cogitator turns its head toward you. The vox emits a rasping voice. Hello, Nomos, welcome your visit. The people who accompanied Theodora on her travels are strangely unaware of the incident and epitaph. Human shells are subject to external influences. Perhaps someone purged their memory archives, or perhaps they simply do not want to access them. It is a shame that no new information was obtained, but Nomos are grateful that you tried. Incident N87204 was a ship-wide system failure of some kind. It and Epitaph had something to do with the ship flying better. The incident marked the beginning of us. The ship became better because of us too. These are all links in the same chain, but we cannot piece them together yet. What about the research notes on the tech flight that we obtained from the cache on Kiava Gamma? The name is also known to us. It is related to Nomos, although we do not understand how. What have you been doing, Nomos? We have been studying and observing and helping the ship when we can. So many mechanisms, they would have suffered without our input. Okay. Perhaps the answer to the mystery of Nomos' origins will present itself in time. Okay. Alright, so we're in a bit of a holding pattern on that quest, which is fine. I'm guessing this is something that will keep going throughout the entirety of the game, or at least to some point near the end of the game, I guess, because it sounds like it's an integral part of what happened on the ship, and the fact that Theodora might have been involved in some kind of heresy, but I guess we'll find out. For now, though, I think we're going to head back to to Dargonus and start this ceremony. I did bring us to Dargonus off camera, so we'll just be heading just about straight into the system without needing to warp travel. So let's head out there. Alright. Heading to Dargonus now to complete the last quest of this chapter. I don't think we want to do anything here. Yeah, I think we're... Loyalty of House or Cellular. Oh, okay. Old Blood. Okay, so those choices did make some sort of... have some sort of effect on the colony. That's interesting. Okay, everything's been cleaned up. And we're basically back to normal. Everyone's in their usual place in the palace. Augur Raider Tech Priest. Jay's over here, yep, so everything's cleaned up and back to normal. In any case, let's head in. Okay, we can shoot, apparently. Is there anything happening in here? Nope, doesn't look like it. Has the secret room been restored? Ah, we can get into here now, so it seems like it has. Alright, so I guess if you haven't found the cache yet, you can do it now as well. I honestly thought it was going to be completely wrecked, but I guess that's probably a bit too many variables to account for in the code for the game. Save it and head in and let's get this party started. Your Lordship, it is great honor to serve you in an undertaking as monumental as glorious as the Magna Accessio ceremony. Is everything ready? The palace decorations are prepared and we are ready to begin at your command. The festive activities in the capital have likewise been arranged, and the guests of honor either have arrived on the planet or are waiting invitation in near orbit. The servants are already in your chambers to see to it that you are impeccably garbed for the occasion. You have been entrusted with arranging the festivities? I have indeed, your lordship. I have been given the high honor of being steward of this eminent palace, and on the occasion of your lordship's accession, I will be overseeing the preparations for the ceremony. House Viserion, to whom you entrusted the arrangements for the festivities, is overjoyed at having received the honor of introducing you to your subjects and humbly thanks you. Then let us begin. May the Emperor be with us this day. Proud below is roiling, their electrified exultation filling the air of Dargonus. Thousands of throats chant your name. You are at the apex of this world and all others. Amplified by 100 voxes, the voice of the Master of Ceremonies booms. Rejoice, subjects of Dargonus. You have been granted the felicity of witnessing your master, a great honor bestowed upon us by rogue trader Stooge von Valancius. Gracious savior of Dargonus and vanquisher of blaspheming inhumans. May their unholy kind perish in the flames of righteousness. Cleanser of Janus, who with one hand brought death upon the blaspheming Xenos and with the other exterminated the despicable worshippers of the archenemy. Gracious protector of footfall, patron of trade. A hush falls over the crowd who gaze upon you in adoration. Many of them bear terrible scars from the recent battle of Dargonus. Like children, they await the word of their almighty father. Let's go with Iconoclast. Fear not the coming day, henceforth you are all my charges. Joyful cries carry your name upward beyond the atmosphere of Dargonus all the way to the Emperor's throne. So much gold and white. Cassius stares at the crowd enraptured. It seems this massive gathering of exulting people is just as exotic and captivating to her as the sight of a bona fide navigator, a representative of the mysterious and powerful Navis nobility is to your subjects. Adequate. Dargonus is not disappointed. Abelard forces a smile of satisfaction from his face and whispers to you, "You remember the next part, yes? Your lordship will be asked to take the oath." Let the oath of the Von Valancius dynasty be taken. Please repeat after me, your lordship. I, Stooge, rogue trader, by the grace of the Emperor, vow to be the paragon of humanity. Unbroken by adversity, to walk bravely first into darkness, to unite and reclaim what was lost, to triumph over nightmares untold, to hold boldly the reins of fate, to walk steadily the road of thorns through pain to greatness. You hear a rumble. It is the roar of the sea of your subjects. With jubilation and devout fear they welcome your ascension. It is done. Okay. The nobles of the Protectorate and influential guests have gathered at a reception in honor of Theodora von Valancius' heir. The social occasion is a political event where alliances will be forged, which is why the rogue trader must seize the opportunities presented to him. The master of ceremonies should be notified of the end of the reception. Talk to Winterscale and Corda, okay? Noble. Exotic statue which formerly pleased the eyes of Xenos now adorns the palace of this dynasty of glorious, okay? Noble features of this guardian of humanity burn with righteous fury and stern resolve. Okay. So am I meant to go in or stay out here? Drive stem is over here. Is that Calcazar, the Inquisitor? Apparently. Governor Urban Drivestem stands surrounded by highborn guests like a planet orbited by many moons. All of his charm is directed at a man in resplendent power armor adorned with the sigil of the Inquisition. But as soon as you approach, Drivestem is the first to give you an elegant bow, getting ahead of the rest in the expression of loyalty. This is a great day, your lordship. I welcome you to my palace, honored guests. You are buffeted by a salvo of congratulations and compliments. Let's do the Iconoclast option and study the faces of the nobles in attendance. Driveston is obviously still the leader of Dargonus aristocracy, but judging by the courtesy he's showing to young Sauerback, he clearly wants to strengthen his relationship with that house. The seniors Sauerback and Gaprak are whispering in another corner. Sauerback, whose family seems to be giving you the cold shoulder, must be trying to sway Gaprak to his side. which could be quite advantageous to Lady Gaprat. After all, the disaster on Kiava Gamma has left her family in an extremely vulnerable position. The Viserys stand apart, their exclusion from the rest palpable. Let's nod to the Inquisitor. He responds with a dignified bow, his proud face calm and unfaltering. And my greetings to you, esteemed Stooge von Valancius. May shadows never darken the light of the Astronomicon that guides you. Brass Whisper, the Inquisitor's companion, a crimson-robed member of the Adeptus Mechanicus, bows to you. From behind the brass mask mounted with dozens of augmentics comes a metallic rasp. Glory to the von Valancius heir. Let's do the awareness check. The Lord Inquisitor's relaxed expression radiates an odd sense of menace. He is akin to a predator on the prowl, content to hide in the brush of fake smiles and elegant conversation for now. Oh, tech, you succeeded? Among the many augmentations, what stands out is the horribly melted, deformed cogitator connected to the tech priest's head. How it is working is baffling. What is twice as baffling is that the tech priest hasn't replaced it yet. What unpredictable influence can this ruined implant have on his mind? An unexpected visit, I wasn't told. I, however, have been told all about you. The Inquisitor's face is impenetrable, but behind this mask you detect a hint of mockery. We have not been introduced. An oversight to be sure. My name is Xavier Calcazar, and I have the honor of serving as a member of the illustrious Ordo Xenos, the head of the Coronis Expanse Conclave, and the Lord Inquisitor of this region. It is my unending task to ensure this sector's readiness to meet external threats and resist internal corruption. And who is this member of the honorable priesthood of the Adeptus Mechanicus? This is Brass Whisper, which naturally is not his real name. The esteemed Magos is a member of my retinue. There are times when I am forced by my duty to the Emperor to deal with xenotechnology, and Brass Whisper ensures my safety in such moments. Works that have been desecrated by Xenos are dangerous. They warrant due caution. His whispering cuts off, replaced by heavy, ragged breathing. It seems that the tech priest's quiet voice is not an extravagant quirk, but rather a consequence of some injury. Okay. Enjoy the party. This evening will certainly be illuminating. Look at the guests. Among the aristocrats surrounding the opulently dressed drive stem, you notice a couple of young nobles. It seems that major noble families of Dargonis have decided to introduce their younger members to high society. A tall man in grey power armor adorned with a column with a skull is undoubtedly a high-ranking inquisitor. He keeps to the periphery of the conversation, seldom deigning to comment. Next to him is his entourage, a rangy warrior in black armor and a tech priest dressed in red whose face is hidden behind a brass mask. Abelard stands somewhat apart from the others, as if reluctant to approach Drivestand. Next to him is a young woman, and you notice a family resemblance between them. Oh, a logic test? Ooh, that's not gonna go too well, I don't think. Yeah. You begin to ponder the intricacies of the political landscape of your capital, but your only reward for the effort is a headache. What were you discussing just now? We were talking about the brutal Xenos raid on our fair Dargonis. So many victims, so much damage to our industries. Thank the Emperor that you are our protector. If it weren't for you, the cursed invaders would have obliterated the whole planet. He offers you a thin and obsequious smile. Sharing the sector with the blasted Xenos is impossible. I hope we respond to their raid on Dargonis with a punitive campaign. I see you hate Xenos with all your heart. I do. This pestilence against the Emperor must be exterminated. He talks ardently and smoothly like a commissar. He places his hand on the hilt of his finely adorned sword, his pale face ablaze with noble fury. Or they must be forced into servitude. Many Xenos are more useful alive and obedient than dead. The young man in Gaprak collar speaks with sagacity and gravity, but his opinion seems to carry little weight in this circle. Pleases me to see such earnest faith. I must commend you. Our Sourback is stalwart in its faith, your lordship. Are you imagining things, or did you just notice a mocking glint in the eye of the Inquisitor standing among the guests? Look at Abelard's young relative. What is your name? Your lordship, allow me to introduce the daughter of Chancellor Clementia Versarian and my great-granddaughter Astartia. Abelard looks solemnly upon the young woman with barely concealed pride. I'm delighted to witness you, your lordship. Astartia bows, keeping her observant and intelligent eyes trained on you. Modesty forbids my esteemed forebear to say this himself, so I will. Our entire family is grateful to you for wishing to see someone of Versarian blood at your side as you claim your inheritance. Drivestem exchanges glances, telling glances with young Sourback, who, judging by his face, is suddenly finding the collar of his expensive frock coat uncomfortably tight. How are you finding the reception? It's difficult to put into words, your lordship. Never before have I seen such a grand and striking ceremony. But I was so much more amazed by your generosity. The provisions that are being handed out in the streets of the capital will make the difference between life and death for many of those who lost everything in the Xenos attack. Perception test? Young Gaprak keeps staring at Astartia curiously and a little bashfully. Seems the boy likes her. Where are the rest of your kin, Abelard? They are in the city, preoccupied with running the festivities and watching over some of the more crucial services. No incidents can be allowed to ruin your ceremony. Astartia frowns and adds peevishly, I asked the esteemed Abelard to put me to some important task too, but he bid me to attend the reception, where I can do nothing to serve your lordship. If I had known, I too would have asked Abelard to let you miss the party. I hope the Versarian family gives Abelard the credit he deserves. Absolutely, your lordship. We greatly respect him for his wisdom, and he repays us with attention and kindness. I am obliged, dear Astartia. It looks like Abelard is somewhat embarrassed by the turn this conversation is taking. Enjoy the evening. I'm not sure. Not sure about this servant comment. I'm not sure if there's something else, but that seems a bit too... It seems a bit odd to say for an iconoclast run, so let's just skip that for now. Thank you, your lordship. Leave them. Okay. Let's save it here. I need to talk to... Okay. Some shooting. Let's show everyone how it's done. Okay. This eerily crackling Xenos trophy is a testament to how the Omnissiah's gifts become twisted shadows of themselves in the hands of Inhumans. Okay. Lore Imperium. Okay. Actually succeeded. This venerable Lehman Russ is known as the Scipion Punisher, and it has served the Von Valancius dynasty for 2 centuries. It was hit in the battle with the Xenos that inhabited Scipia II, but it heroically destroyed 63 enemy vehicles and brought victory to its comrades, securing its status as a relic blessed by the Emperor. Hey, that's pretty cool. Confessor? Okay. The magnificent altar to the God Emperor is wreathed in the fumes of precious incense. Okay, so it doesn't look like there's anything else here anymore. Okay. Wild Xeno beasts are growling ferociously, adding a flare of thrilling danger. Okay. Lord Xenos. Got no chance. Okay. What? Succeeded? Really? Okay. Jay did it. The Drakari captive is angrily muttering curses directed at the detestable monkey, promising horrible torture for everyone present. Okay. I guess this is it for everything outside. Inscribed upon the snow-white parchment are prayers for the brave soldiers of House von Valancius who carry the rogue trader's will and that of the Emperor across the Cronus expanse. Is this Iliad? Can't tell. Yeah, it is. Okay. Let's head inside and talk to the people we need to. Okay, so I guess we've found out a little bit about what's going on with like Drive Stem and the Inquisitor Calcazar, who doesn't look like he's here for I guess party reasons. Seems quite serious. There's nothing in here. Okay. Now, where's the... Okay. These swords belong to a presumptuous governor of Viabos 6 who staged a revolt hundreds of years ago. The insurrectionist's hands preserved against decay still rest on the sword's hilt. Okay, that's quite interesting. Alright, so we have Idira over here, we've got Heinrichs with some Sauerbachs and a Gaprak. Okay, let's see what they have to say. A group of aristocrats stands apart from the governor's circle. Their whispering carries a tinge of displeasure. The clear leader of this gathering is a gaunt, bilious-faced man dressed in Sauerbach colours. This must be Macarius himself, head of the house. He offers you a ceremonious bow. My congratulations, your lordship. May the Omnissiah grant you understanding. The woman with whom he is conversing, the one dressed in a robe with gear-shaped adornments, is Toriana Gaprat. It's difficult to read her face due to it being covered in numerous augmentations. Let's observe the guess. Toriana Gaprak looks rather anxious. Macarius dressed surprisingly plainly and austerely for an aristocrat of such a high rank is frowning suspiciously. He came to the reception with a companion, a woman of dazzling beauty wearing a gilded augment necklace around her throat, his wife probably. Heinrichs, who joined the group unnoticed, mostly keeps silent, listening intently to their every word. How are you, Toriana? The corruption of Kiava Gamma was a great blow to my family. The contemptible Cubus Delphim betrayed our trust, desecrated the Ford cathedrals, and took my esteemed cousin's life. On behalf of my family, I humbly beg you to forgive our negligence. I am ready to accept any punishment. Let's see. Perception check. There is something lurking beneath Toriana's repentant expression, a grudge. It would seem that she was personally offended by the nightmare into which Cubus Delphim plunged her domain, and she feels betrayed. Tell me more about your family. We Gapraks originate from the Calixus sector, from the cluster of planets known as the Lathe Worlds. We work faithfully for the good of our masters there, the Adeptus Mechanicus, and through our service we gain a spark of the Omnissiah's knowledge. Then fate tied us through the bonds of fealty to the venerable von Valancius dynasty, and we found ourselves in the Cronus expanse. Generation after generation, we fulfilled our duty faultlessly until Kiava Gamma destroyed and disgraced our name. I give you my word that Kiava Gamma will be rebuilt in all its splendor. Toriana raises her mechanical eyes to the ceiling. I swear on the omniscience all-encompassing sight we will make, or insight, we will make every effort to justify the cost of the resurrection. It was only a year ago that none could doubt House Gaprak's usefulness, yet here you are, Toriana, on your knees, justifying the cost. Macarius, I'm surprised you deigned to make an appearance here this evening. Macarius's face twists into an unpleasant smile, which makes the artificial skin on the left side all the more prominent. I'm a servant of the von Valancius dynasty. Had I not come, I would have committed an act of unacceptable insolence and damaged my family's honor. Macarius's wife offers you a charming smile, as if apologizing for her husband's vitriolic tone. Her large, dark eyes are brimming with curiosity. What has so displeased you, Macarius? I am your dynasty's loyal servant, but you have asked and I will answer. Too long has the Coronis Expanse lived under the rule of rogue traders. The privileges granted to them make people think that commoners too can dismiss the prohibitions of the Imperium. For the good of the sector, rogue traders must become paragons of the law, not exceptions to it. But do many warrant holders exhibit lawful conduct? No, they do not. Even you, your lordship, are the subject of the strangest of rumors, and you have recently inherited your protectorate. Kunrad Voigtvir's people, for instance, claim that you had a hand in the esteemed Theodora's demise, and accuse you of many other misdeeds. It doesn't matter whether or not their claims are true, the people hear them, believe them, and think that they may follow your example. Rogue traders are not renegades vested with authority. We are the long arm of the Imperium, and I shall prove it to you. I wouldn't dare accuse you of anything, your lordship. I am simply concerned. If you happen to lay my concerns to rest, House Salbach will be praying for your well-being every day. I wish to know more about House Salbach. The Salbach line was one of the first noble houses to arrive in the Coronis Expanse. For millennia we have served the Golden Throne and kept the faith. Salbach warriors have bled in 100 wars and at different times have ruled a great many colonies of the von Valancius dynasty. I would like to become better acquainted with your wife. That would kind of be not very iconoclast, nor would it be very in line with what I just said about making sure they're proving that rogue traders are the long arm of the Imperium or whatever, so let's not do that. I see. Macarius bows his head without too much reverence. Interesting conversation. It's been very illuminating, given me plenty of food for thought. For an inscrutable man, Heinrichs is being even more inscrutable than usual. It's as if he is hiding something important. Is there anything you would like to tell me? Nothing urgent, Stooge. Heinrichs casts an impassive look at you and immediately glances away. What can you tell me about my guests? Well, Macarius Salbach is all but throwing darts at your portrait. He's more astute at choosing women than enemies. He's trying to entice Gaprak to his side, but she's too frightened after the fiasco on Kiava Gamma. Even in leisure, you never cease to be of help. I appreciate it. That is why they call it the unsleeping eye of the Inquisition. Even in sleep, I hear everything. Stooge, before this gala concludes, there is something I'd like to tell you. Be careful today. I sense that a wave of darkness will soon hit our defensive lines, and I hope that I will still get a chance to meet you there as an ally. Okay, Heinrichs is... I guess Heinrichs has found something or sensed something going on. Save it here. Okay. There's the Master of Ceremonies, Hieronymus, Caligos, and quarter over here. Okay. There's a couple of clicks forming, which is quite interesting. Okay, let's see what these guys have to say. Interesting portrait. Stooge, there you are. Welcome to the circle where each member is as powerful, ambitious, greedy, and vain as the last. That is to say, the rogue traders. Incendia. Okay, so the portraits for Incendia and what's his name, Caligos, are quite interesting and pretty cool, actually. Incendia Corda is watching him with barely suppressed contempt. Yes, you have found yourself suitable company, Caligos. At the very least, now you can enjoy idle diversions, boast about your power, and indulge in profane pastimes with one who is your equal rather than a member of the lower classes. Observe the rogue traders. Caligos Winterscale is a broad-shouldered, athletic-looking man. He frequently flashes a bright smile, no less dazzling than the blade of the power axe he carries. Every part of him, from the toes of his magnificent boots to the tips of his hair, radiates strength and the desire to live and win. His smile is crooked, as if ready to turn into a hostile snarl at any moment. Next to him is an unmoving hulk of a man clad in armor. His low forehead and gloomy face bears signs of degradation, and his bloodshot eyes are expressionless, like a pair of glass buttons. Incendia Corda radiates cosmic cold. Her skin is unnaturally white, and a nervous tick is constantly tugging at the left side of a noble visage. Garbed in full-dress uniform adorned with purity seals, she is the embodiment of a true imperial aristocrat. Haunting her side is a gaunt shadow of a priest in plain black robes. Hieronymus Doloroso, whom you met on footfall, gives you a respectful nod. No need to be cold. Any guests who dislike my vapid energy? Is she always so abrasive? Let's just go with welcome to Dargonis, friends. Friends, eh? Would you look at that Incendia? Now you have a whole friend. Winterscale gives you a carefree wink, but his posture exudes a challenge. I will think twice before calling an individual of questionable purity my friend. Caligos, thank you for your visit. I should be thanking you. I was almost certain that you would use my difficulties on footfall as a means to bring that devious weasel Gladane to heel and take the station for your own. It's what any rogue trader would have done, but you have proved yourself to be less predictable than that. Well then, since you have turned out to be a pleasant surprise and stopped Incendia from snatching my possession, I will compensate you for your efforts. I have a nice little world I conquered that I can never seem to get around to. I'll throw it in along with the more substantial gift I have brought. Not sure how I feel about this guy's gifts. I don't think he ever really gives gifts that won't benefit him in much more ways. Thwarting Incendia Corda's ambitions deserves a worthy trophy. He snaps his fingers and the armored brute hands you an exotically adorned rifle, clearly not of human make. It's a trophy from a good hunt. You and I should hunt together sometime, so you can show yourself in action. New blood. Caligos exuberantly punches you in the shoulder. Eye of Hecaton. Wow, that is a nasty weapon. A lot of damage. 100% over penetration. Okay, thank you for such a wonderful gift, Caligos. Kill someone important with it. That would be the best show of gratitude. Incendia, you seem to find me objectionable. Did you expect any different? I watched for years as outlaws thrived on footfall, and then at long last I had a chance to put an end to it, to seize that thug Ladane by the throat, to force footfall to atone and put the fear of him back into the masses. But you interfered and destroyed my plan for the sake of banal profit. Theodora taught you only too well, it seems. She too was far less concerned with her duty to the Expanse than her own personal interests, but you can be sure that I will not cease cleansing the furibundous system of the pirate scourge. And if your trade prospects are damaged in the process, you will have only yourself to blame. The priest holds up his hands in a placating gesture. None are without fault, noble Incendia. What point is there in targeting someone for their turpitude when true purity can never be found? You threatened to starve footfall. I brought them salvation, so which one of us serves the Emperor and which their own unhealthy ambitions? My apologies, I failed to perceive the essence of your saintly mission in base extortion. That's not what we did. Keep up this insolence. Let's do this, the first one. Please, I will believe it no sooner than hearing word that half the population of that den of heresy has been sent into the void's embrace. I have faith that the blessed stooge is perceptive enough to see the appalling nature of the residents of that depraved place. Hieronymus, your appearance here is unexpected. The esteemed Hieronymus is my confessor. I am greatly obliged to him for agreeing to accompany me on this journey. May the Emperor's light guide your way across the abyss of human wickedness. I see that faith is more than just a word to you. Faith is everything to me. In his name I have eradicated corruption on 100 worlds and will do so on 1,000 more. By his will I hunt down pirates and desolate their vile nests. Let the quarter name make any firebrand tremble, for sooner or later I will cast them into the void. The funny thing is, people still call me the foul-tempered tyrant in all this. Caligos's amiable smile somehow resembles the bared teeth of a wild animal. Yeah, the problem with Quarter is that she's trying to be so moralistic and quote-unquote good, but then she was trying to send her ships to make incursions into our protectorate and take our planets and systems, so I mean, she's just as bad, arguably worse, because she tries to portray herself as good when she's just the same as everyone else. I take it you were not overly fond of Theodora. She was of the same breed as Asp, conceited, insolent, unaware of the Emperor's stern gaze set upon her. I do not doubt her wisdom and courage, but Theodora did not have a shred of humility or fear of his wrath. Oh, you didn't quite catch what word Incendia was about to say. Dang, okay. Well, I for one liked Theodora. The stories they told of her travels to nameless stars, and yes, there was no fear in her. Winterscale sighs pensively, and his lively expression grows a little grayer. I thank you for this visit, Incendia. It will not be a long one, I assure you. What do you think of the celebration? I like it. One can instantly tell that we've been invited by a rogue trader, not some administrator bootlicker. We are conquerors of wild sectors, slayers of unknown beasts, executioners of Zeno's empires. Caligos, you should take this opportunity to learn. This is what the palace of a true rogue trader looks like. Not like a Zeno menagerie, a pirate's treasure hold, or, however difficult it may be for you to believe, an orbital brothel. Enjoy the evening. I must take my leave. Oh, believe me, I intend to enjoy myself to the full, to justify so long a voyage if nothing else. Keep the faith, Stooge, the Emperor protects. Okay. So the nobles of the Protectorate and influential guests have gathered at a reception. Okay, so it's the same thing. Alright, so is there anything else we need to do? Cassia? Can you make it so that the guests stop walking up to me and asking me to open my third eye? I can certainly do it, but they will regret it. Yeah. Yeah, they probably will. Although they might not have enough time to register regret. Obscura Somna, Blackleth, the guests of the Rogue Trader can enjoy the most exclusive and refined varieties of intoxicants. Okay. Well, I don't think there's anything else left to do or see other than these displays. The skull of the legendary pirate Laksham, the freak who terrorized the Cronus Expanse 3 centuries ago, was claimed in a boarding attack by the esteemed Theodora von Valancius. Okay, well, I think we've talked to everyone we need to. Yeah. So let's end this. I hope your lordship is pleased and not yet tired. If you wish to revive yourself a little, I would suggest proceeding to the courtyard, if I may be so bold. Many guests have chosen to move into the fresh air and will be eager to offer you their congratulations. Okay. Let's save it here. I did talk to the people outside. Well, the important people anyway, and I took part in that shooting thing, so... I didn't accept the congratulations though, so I don't know if I should do that, but it is what it is. Let's see. What do you think of the reception? It is magnificent. I dare say it will live on as the premier high society event of the sector for many years. Alright. Let's end this. I'm weary and wish to retire to my chambers. Your chambers are ready, but I must inform you that that servitor over there approached me and said that it has a message for you. Its speech was surprisingly fluent and expressive for a servitor, so I think someone must have put this message into it. It could be a secret dispatch. The last thing I wish to do right now is speak to a servitor. Please allow me to escort you, your lordship. Why not? Might have been an important message. Your chambers are ready, your lordship. Eh? Guards in true quiet time to sleep. We need to talk in private.
We have matters to discuss, von Valancius.
Okay. Why did they just randomly kill that dude? The same man you saw among your guests is waiting for you in your chambers with the look of someone who is supposed to be there. He casts a cold, assessing gaze over you from top to bottom. No one save Theodora has ever allowed themselves the liberty of looking at you in such a way. We have matters to discuss, Stooge von Valancius. The woman behind Calcazar, clad in black armor, glares at you, her face set in predatory readiness for immediate violence, the hallmark of a professional bodyguard. Will my servant live?
Probably. Unless he suffered from hidden ailments, he will soon come to without any major damage to his health. Either way, oblivion is a far safer option for him than the dangerous privilege of being a witness to this conversation.
Okay. Do we want to call out Heinrichs? Well, we've not... Heinrichs never really said we were friends. Okay, let's just go with 3.
A commendable openness to cooperation. It will be taken into account. Master Van Kellox has spent enough time with you. He will vouch for your words. What stands out from your recent accomplishments is the suppression of a rebellion on Janus, the battle against the archenemy's minions on Kiava Gamma, and, of course, the unusual interest the Drakari have shown in you. Then that is what we will discuss.
After saying these words, he shoots you a searching look from under his brows, like a regicide player who just made the first move and is now watching for his opponent's reaction. What do you wish to know about the events in Janus? Or this feels an awful lot like an interrogation.
Does it? We're in your chambers, not a confessional cell. You're in perfectly good health, and none of the varied and fascinating instruments and procedures that expedite candor are being applied to you. I assure you, you would immediately know if our discussion turned into an interrogation.
Fair enough. Yes, that is true of Inquisitors. What do you wish to know about the events on Janus?
Oh, I know it already. Even though you were quite effective at removing all evidence that could point to the blunder made by House von Valancius, it is saddening to realize that the rogue trader's connivance allowed a heretic who had been fostering a cult for years to come to power.
Vistenza's misdeeds are a stain upon my dynasty's honor, I admit it. Theodora was the one who appointed Vistenza. What does it have to do with me? I don't think that's acceptable, because becoming the rogue trader of the house means you inherit all their whatever they've done in the past, good and bad. But now Janus is pure once more. You can see for yourself. There will be a palace and everything you desire waiting for you on the planet. Every tool has a shelf life. Vistenza had reached the end of hers, okay? Let's go with the first option.
Your humility is heartening. Rest assured, it will be noted during the investigation of your lamentable oversight.
They're Inquisitors, so of course they would be well informed, and then Heinrichs would have reported back, so that's fine. If you knew about what was happening on Janus, why didn't you intervene yourself?
I cannot satisfy your curiosity without disclosing information of the utmost secrecy. I will say only this. We had the situation under control. There is a tangled knot of perilous events in progress in the Coronis expanse. Plucking even one thread must be performed with great precision and caution, without any room for error.
Okay, that's interesting. So they had everything under control. Presumably that means they had some sort of someone informing them so that they could act if things went past a certain line, I suppose.
Because you do not want to know the price of such an error, or what forms it might take.
How did you come to be so remarkably well informed? I suppose we can ask the question.
Are you surprised? You thought
Yeah,
the
that's what I
Inquisition was
thought.
unaware of the circumstances of your deeds. How often do you find yourself thinking that there are things we shouldn't know about your life?
Kind of what I thought it would be.
It is my job to know everything, and I do it very well. Keep that in mind.
What questions could you have for me about Kiava Gamma?
Places touched by chaos must be purged with fire and condemned to oblivion. Kiava Gamma should have been bombed to dust and pronounced a forbidden world. However, you decided otherwise and restored the colony's operation. And you didn't even go to the trouble of hiding the traces of the neglect committed by your dynasty. After all, it was House von Valancius that gave Cubis Delphim so much freedom that he sank into seditious heresy. What was your rationale?
Protectorate is a complex mechanism, okay? Truly, I must confess, this is... well, that's not really an option. Let the priesthood to which Cubis Delphim belonged answer for his crimes. The Adeptus Mechanicus would do well to watch their members closely, yeah? I wish to observe how the seeds of corruption will behave. It is prudent to study one's enemy. Dangerous, but my protectorate is a complex mechanism. I wasn't willing to put its performance at risk because of some paranoid fears. I don't know about paranoid fears. Observing how the seeds of corruption will behave is a bit wild. I think that's not really exactly what we were doing, but we'll go with the first option.
Your protectorate is a living body, and you have left in it a splinter that might eventually fester. Consider the scale of amputations that could come of it. I hope you realize that we're talking about more than the fate of some colony. I care not for a single planet, however profitable and populous. But should corruption raise its head again on Kiava Gamma and try to spread, I will burn it away. And you will be guilty of criminal negligence.
The Drukhari have shown an interest in me. Are you referring to my ruined capital?
Yes, the enmity between you is a known fact. But there is another way to look at it. On Veabos 6, you met the Archon of a mighty cabal, whose presence there seems strange to begin with, and lived. You subsequently encountered a number of her closest henchmen. Yet, again, you survived. Your capital fell victim to a nefarious attack, but even this time, their daggers missed your heart. Such remarkable luck. To be a personal enemy of such an influential Xenos, to have been attacked so many times and yet make it out alive. So remarkable that one has to wonder, am I watching a spectacle? Could all these thrilling massacres be an alibi of sorts, meant to establish you once and for all as an enemy of the Xenos and never their ally or even their agent?
Xenos made more attempts on St. Drusus's life than mine. Does that make him a traitor too?
So you already think you're cut from the same cloth as St. Drusus, do you? Ambitious? I'll make note of it.
That's an interesting way to put it. Considering he's the one that says survival of all of those things, all of these attacks is suspicious. It's not really a comparison to St. Drusus, it's more of pointing out that his criteria for justification of heresy this is bizarre, because many revered heroes would then be cast out as traitors. But I think the Inquisition tends to be quite zealous in that sort of thing in the law, so it's not surprising that they would go this route.
Far from it, my dear. The questions are manifold. How did you manage to survive the battle that claimed the life of Theodora, who was so much more experienced and skilled than you? Is it a coincidence that you and you alone then made it out of the trap on Rykad Minoris? How much truth is there in the rumors being spread by the heretic Kunrad Voitvir about you? Why did you choose to ignore the warning of a member of the Inquisition that a protracted sojourn near the dying Rykad Minoris could bring corruption down upon your ship? Were you driven by your concern for the people or forbidden interest? Was it virtuous of you to allow the warp-stricken Voidsmen to join your crew? The ones who served on the ship that was turned into a trap for you by Kunrad Voitvir? Isn't it possible that they were part of the blight he had sown? The very existence of these questions would have made many of my colleagues doubt the quality of your character, but it won't in this case. The Inquisition, which I represent, is willing to show extraordinary faith in your person. For the sake of our invaluable partnership, I'm going to ignore any minor liberties that you, esteemed rogue trader, may have afforded yourself or may again in the future.
This sounds like the Inquisition is engaging in heresy.
I hope you appreciate the generosity of this offer, as your predecessor once did.
Theodora cooperated with you?
And benefited greatly from it. The Warrant's power is not without limit, and neither is the protection it provides. All those mysterious expeditions, dubious experiments, collections of xenotech oddities are dangerous pastimes. It takes more than the Emperor's permission to pursue them without consequences. One must also make sure I am not displeased by it.
Okay.
Let me demonstrate how it works. In your retinue, there is a Psyker who is yet to receive Terra's sanction, which, as we both know, is a grave threat and a blasphemy to the laws of the Imperium. I am aware of this secret, but I'm not displeased in the slightest. And so she lives on, your handy Psyker, Idira Tlass.
I know that Theodora was concerned about the fate of the dynasty and certain restricting obligations. Was it perhaps due to your partnership with her? I cannot deny the possibility that Lady Theodora may have lamented losing some of the freedom she enjoyed prior to my arrival in the Expanse. Nor will I deny that our partnership began with me exerting a certain amount of influence. However, you are not Lady Theodora. Let us put the difficulties that encumbered our relationship to rest along with her. I do not recommend troubling yourself with affairs of the past, for they have no bearing on your present position. Theodora chose to forget about this particular matter. Follow her example, and your fate will be the better for it. Why such an interest in my person?
You haven't been in a position of power for long. And so, one can forgive you for not noticing the troubling changes. The cult of the Final Dawn is spreading in the Coronis Expanse. Not the first or the last heresy that has afflicted this sector, but one that is surprisingly resilient. Mysterious convoys are sliding by, bound for systems in the heathen stars. Just your humdrum pirate trade, wouldn't you say? Then why are the pirates themselves clueless? The Xenos, who have caused trouble in the sector before, have expanded their activities in the last few decades, and there is a logic and method to their previously chaotic raids. Even 2 packs of Space Wolves, blessed Space Marines summoned in my name, did not cool their interest in the Expanse.
Okay, so there's obviously something going on with the Drukhari that's causing them to keep either attacking or making incursions into the Coronis Expanse, rather than turning their attention to other sectors or systems or whatever. So yeah, that is kind of interesting.
A mighty explorative fleet, which has studied the Expanse for hundreds of years, has suddenly stopped responding to communication and sunk into a dispute over a tech heresy that was considered dead a couple of centuries ago. House Chorda has clamped down on insurgents, yet its acts of brutality breed troublemakers just as quickly as they're executed, and this bloody carousel has consumed the attention of the esteemed Incendiar. Koligos Winterscale has abruptly lost all interest in his domain, and his only apparent concern now is hunting even more dangerous xenobeasts.
So he did notice, so he also notices what Chorda, House Chorda has done. Similar to what, maybe not exactly the same as my observations, but certainly something is going on there with Incendia. I didn't know about Caligos Winterscale though, so that's interesting.
And the third and final rogue trader has unexpectedly perished, stabbed in the back by her own Master of Whispers. The Expanse is swiftly losing its protectors right when communication with the Imperium is being disrupted by the raging warp. Basically, all the Expanse has left is me and you, if you follow my instructions.
Okay, well, flagrant violation of my privileges is not really a thing. This is a 40k universe. There's no privileges or real rights, to be honest. So let's go with 2.
Which would you prefer? And you, Heinrichs, do you wish to continue working at the Honorable Rogue Trader's side?
I will comply with any order, Lord Inquisitor. If you command me to remain in the company of the scion of the von Valancius dynasty, I won't be distressed.
Okay. I want Heinrichs to continue to accompany me.
Then Master Van Kellogg's will remain in place. It puts me at ease to know that there is someone to watch over you.
Alcazar's last remark sounds ambiguous. Huh?
I consider it an honor to accompany you.
What kind of deal are we talking about?
I make no deals, and Emperor forbid that I give you orders. That would mean infringing on your privileges. I'm merely offering well-meaning recommendations and expecting that when the Expanse finds itself in danger, you will break away from your own affairs to heed them.
Okay. So it's not a hard and fast deal that's kind of like signed in paper, sealed in blood or anything, but it's a strong recommendation, and otherwise the Inquisition will just, I guess, claim you're a heretic, and whatever happens from there, I suppose. So interesting.
Please accept this gift as a sign of my favor. In an hour of need, give it to any faithful servant of the Emperor, and the Inquisition will come to your aid.
Signet ring, okay.
The color indicates how close the bearer is to the Lord Inquisitor. Scarlet means that you have shed your blood for the good of the Imperium, and therefore, you deserve to have his servants shed their blood for you.
Okay. On behalf of my house, hereby promise and guarantee to offer the Inquisition any assistance it may require. I see no reason to refuse such a generous offer.
Then we have reached a consensus, and I am pleased to see it. Here is where we part. My shuttle is waiting. It is time for me to return to my watch, for you to sleep, and for your servant to wake up. Until next we meet.
Well, you will obviously want to discuss what just happened, but not now, I presume. Right now, it would be better for you to rest and think on the Lord Inquisitor's words in private. I bid you good night, Rogue Trader.
He looks like someone who is expecting an unpleasant conversation.
The rise of the Rogue Trader heir restored a tenuous equilibrium to the von Valancius Protectorate. For a time, threats subsided, activity returned to trade routes, and reclaimed worlds began to heal. The new Lord Captain's subjects praised the God Emperor and their leader wholeheartedly. For none knew what fate might await them.